طيب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. My name is Ghais Hussein. Today, inshallah, I'm going to share with you part of my, a journey, and it's literally a journey, mental journey. I called it A Tale of Two Cities, and this is one of the first novels that I have studied. It's for Charles Dickens. The two cities are Toronto, where I had my master's degree in bioethics, and this is what was my first exposure to the field of bioethics. There I got the first mental station towards, or the mental step, the first introduction mentally to the Western ethics, and then the second major change that happened is here in Riyadh, and I'm going to share this story and my introduction to the Islamic bioethics, and then I'm going to share with you, but at the last part of this talk, inshallah, what do I mean by applied Islamic ethics and how to implement it through a case that we're going to discuss at the end of this talk, inshallah. How did it all started? It started basically from an invitation. I used to work for the Federal Minister of Health in Sudan, and an invitation came from WHO, and you see a lot of photos in this presentation, basically because I think this is a chance to acknowledge the people who helped me through this journey, and it's very important actually because they are my community of support. So the invitation that I received from WHO and from Mr. Muhammad Abdullah, he was the representative of WHO in Sudan at that time, and Dr. Sumaya Al-Fadil, she is kind of like well, she's kind of my godmother in a way. She's been following up, taking care of me, giving me advices, and this is how it started. The Minister of Health received this invitation from WHO. They want some people to go to Masters in Bioethics in Canada. The Canada part was the fun part because, okay, everybody loves Canada, I guess. But the issue was master degree in bioethics, and what's bioethics anyway? Who knows about it? And as long as you don't know about it, then nobody knows about it. Then if I go there, what will happen next? How am I going to find a job? I prefer like some master in public health, medical education. This is something I know I'm comfortable with. I can find a job after that. But who is crazy enough to go to this place which is too cold for such a topic, which is too unknown or perhaps too bored? I had the chance to go to the Joint Center for Bioethics in the University of Toronto in Canada. There, I was introduced for the first time in my life to philosophy. And to the good or to the bad, it was a mental challenge for me because we are mostly brought up mentally, and we were educated in a way that it's all about facts. Medical education, it's all about facts. Physiology is about facts, anatomy is about facts, surgery is about facts, medicine is about facts. I'm kind of factual-minded person. And when I went there, and especially in the field of bioethics, then I started to explore that it's not just about facts, it's about arguments, it's about debates, it's about how to point of view, how to provide, how to introduce yourself, how to defend your argument, how to be ready to any counter-argument that could take place. I was not ready for that. Even our values, our moral values were based on kind of facts in a way. Because basically, this is right, this is wrong, this is halal, this is haram, without a lot of discussion or argument why this is right and why this is wrong. And we feel offended if anyone asks us, even our children, for example, when they ask us why this particular thing is haram, why this is halal, and why Allah is doing this to us, and why Allah is not doing this to us. So this kind of question, we feel offended. And we feel protected by, closing the doors and the windows sometimes for any kind of meaningful discussion of what we believe in. Again, this was really, in a way, troubling to me because for them, they can talk about anything they want to. No taboos, no red lines, very few actually. But overall, this was my introduction to the field, to the philosophy. So this was the first step. In the Joint Center for Bioethics, I was introduced to huge kind of efforts by many people. And as I told you, I kind of warned you, if you like, from the beginning, that there will be a lot of photos and a lot of people. And I have to acknowledge their role in my life. Barbara Secker, she was the person who took the huge task of introducing us to philosophy, where I've never studied philosophy. I read here and there a few books, but not that much. Ross Upshur introduced us to the empirical bioethics, and then we studied the relation between ethics and law, and then how to teach, how to write. Peter Singer taught us. We have to be careful here because there's another Peter Singer of Australia. And if you are in the field, I think he has some kind of provocative arguments and opinions. Then Jim Lavery, Abdullah Dar, Solomon Benatar introduced us to the research conduct in different parts of the world, the relation between the Western, policies and guidelines, and how would they articulate and work in developing countries. And lastly, Professor Monica Brannigan, she was my mentor, she was my supervisor, and she is the one who gave me a very important advice, is to build your community of support. Know the resources to which you can refer to know the answers, but do not expect yourself to be the answer or to be the person who answered the questions. I think this was a very important advice. Unfortunately, I was too enthusiastic that I forgot it. What I was fascinated most about, overall, the Western literature is so rich. As a person coming from a medical background, I love facts, I love tools, I love to say lists, checklists, so I was like quite fascinated with the way they are thinking about it. It's not just a matter of argument. Philosophy, as contrary to what I used to believe, it's not a matter of mental torture. The thing is, it helps you to reflect this in practice. They managed to find the link between the theory and the practice, everything. They argue a lot. There are a lot of literature that could be, in a way, meaningless to a lot of clinicians. I'm a clinician. If I face this ethical problem, I need a tool that can help me. And they did very well. Unfortunately, at the same time, I expected to have these tools, these frameworks, and when I go back and put them on the ground, now, listen, I have the solutions for your problems. But when I came back, and I have to, again, to acknowledge, in a way, it was my fault, because I have a clear plan on how I'm going to do what I've learned, or how to practice what I've learned, and how to transfer the knowledge that I've learned. I expected this to flow from me. Basically, if I'm asked a question, if I sit in a meeting, if I'm invited to contribute to something, then it will just come out of me, all this great knowledge that I have in Canada. Well, I expected to have some, a better welcome, if you like. I was invited to sit on the same committees, but to me, the language was different, and I felt that they are in a different world. And I assumed that they felt the same about me as well. So what I used to say, what I used to tell them, or the way I tried to introduce this to them, it seemed disconnected. They didn't feel what I say. They have this impression or this feeling, whether right or wrong, that, okay, now another kind of westernized person coming to us to talk about the Western standards and how these things are great, you have to do this and you have to do that, and they felt very uncomfortable, especially the senior colleagues. So I kind of turned back to public health, where I started, and as if I didn't go to Canada, I put my bioethics, education in the fridge for a while. So what happened is I kept on my work in public health, and this is how it went.